Saturday night wrap-up show with John. Jim had it last week. You've got me tonight. We both had a long day. We were over actually at a car show in Anaheim. I think Aaron would kill Jim if he did the show tonight. But my wife, we need to credit Kristen, because without my wife, we're not doing a wrap-up show tonight. She said, you need to do a show tonight. I said, listen, I would, but I want to obviously spend the evening with you because we do these shows each and every night. But she said, do the show. Padres are alone in first place in the NL West. And I said, I'll do the show. I'm going to take direction from it. When my wife says do the show, I'm going to do the show. So let's talk about it over the next hour. John, with you here on the wrap-up show. Please make your way in and subscribe. Can we get to 9,500 subscribers tonight? Padres are in first place in the NL West with 32 games to play, a chance to take a 2-game lead in the division should they win tomorrow behind Nick Pivetta. The pitching in this series has been absolutely brilliant from San Diego. So I think we're like 35 or 40 subscribers away from 9,500. Please subscribe, and let's get to 9,500 with your help here tonight. Smash the like button for me if you wouldn't mind. Follow me on X at John Schaefer. We'll get to the supers. In fact, I will not be able to keep up with the chat, obviously. There's already like 300 people here. I'm not going to see any of the chat. I appreciate you, Jared, by the way, if you want to moderate tonight, especially with it being Padres-Dodgers. There might be a few other moderators here tonight, but I know Jared's been a loyal moderator over the years. So if you need to, it doesn't have to be at the first time there's a confrontation back and forth, but if something egregious is going on in the chat, if you wouldn't mind moderating for me, I would appreciate it. And the supers are the way I'll see your comments here tonight. So if you want to contribute, if you want to weigh in, if you just want to support the channel on this Saturday night, if you want to celebrate the Padres and where they are right now, I mean, where they are, obviously still 32 games to play, but firmly in a playoff position, but thinking about more right now, just click that $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, by the way, we've got the brand new Beat LA emoji on screen right now. If you become a member, click join down below. You're going to get the Beat LA emoji and about 20 others. If you want to gift memberships, you can click the join button down below. But where do you start? And Jared, I see the supers. I'm going to get to all of them. Actually, let me kickstart the show with Jared, who is a loyal viewer and a longtime supporter and one of our moderators. And thank you, Jared, for being here tonight and getting us started. He says, LFGSD, nasty Nestor shoved. Like I predicted, and you did. And, of course, I've been calling him Cortes the Killer since they acquired him. He's been good, folks, and he was unbelievable tonight. I mean, unbelievable. Think about the matchup. Cortes Glasnow, right? I mean, that's your pitching matchup. This guy that you get at the 11th hour at the deadline who had made 2 starts this year, none as late as like May. I mean, he had made 2 starts in late March and early April. Nobody had heard from him since because of injury. And he's been highly effective. No further evidence than tonight, obviously, from Nestor Cortes. We'll get all into it. But, I mean, just unbelievable pitching in this series. The Padres have allowed 5 hits in the first 2 games of this series, and we'll see if that continues on Sunday or not. But 5 combined hits allowed. Cortes retired the first 16 batters in the game, right? First 16 batters in the game. And the thing is, when you get starting pitching like that and you've got a back end like the Padres have, they didn't use Mason Miller or Robert Suarez. And, yeah, the Dodgers hit a solo home run, but did they seriously threaten to tie or take a lead in this game? No, not after the Padres took a 3-0 lead. And then, of course, the big hits, the clutch hits. Ramon Laureano, how about Xander Bogaerts, maligned for his inability to hit with men in scoring position, a clutch 2-run double down that right field line to basically put it out of reach in the 8th for San Diego. So, yeah, it starts with Cortes just like last night. It started with you, Darvish, and we'll talk about that, obviously, over the next 60 minutes. And I agree, Jared. She is. Hopefully she's watching right now upstairs. I'm sure that'll bring a smile to her face. She's a keeper. John, you're 100% right, man. I think she understands, easier said than done, kind of what she signed up for. I mean, you guys know I spent 15 years calling minor league baseball games. I've spent the last, 9 years doing this. I work nights, I work weekends. I call San Diego State games. I mean, I'm always working. It's a labor of love. It's my passion. She understands it. It can be challenging. We have a 6-year-old. He's sleeping. He was at this card show buying Padres cards earlier today in Anaheim, but appreciate you saying it. Jared, I'm going to get to the supers as they roll in, and let's just get to them. So, yeah, again, if you want to support, make sure to smash the like button for us. Please subscribe. Let's get to 9,500. Let's talk about this Padres win, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. This is from Tony. Thank you, man. He says, if we won with Nestor, how can we not with Nick? I mean, it's a fair point. Of course, it is sports and it is baseball. Pivetta has been brilliant and even better at home, where I think he's been beaten once, and he has something like an 8-1 record and a sub-2 ERA at this point, I think, at Petco Park. And, you know, you didn't know. I would just kind of start here. We didn't know heading into the series how it would play out. How can you? I mean, it's Padres-Dodgers. It's this unbelievable series that goes back and forth and has seen these two teams play in the postseason 3 of the last 5 years. It could be 4 and 6 potentially in 2025. We don't know. And we saw last weekend where LA punched first, so to speak, in the second half of the year. But the Padres have punched back. And the Padres have proven to be a more than worthy adversary. They've proven to be among the best teams in baseball at home. It speaks to the importance of getting home playoff games, home series if they're a wild card team. But that's not the point anymore. I mean, the goal is not to host a wild card series. In fact, I'm at the point where that's a disappointment, obviously. The Padres have first place in the NL West in their grasp, and they have it right now if the season was over, and it isn't. There's 32 games left, and there's likely another twist or a turn in there. It magnifies tomorrow. You get it tomorrow. You're 2 games clear, and you'd love to be because you don't have the tiebreaker. You lose tomorrow, and again, LA has the tiebreaker. There's still 31 games left. It won't determine their season in all likelihood, but it is important because they all are. I do think the Padres have proved something to us all, and that's that they are capable of beating the Dodgers in a series. I think they needed to kind of prove it to themselves first, and then secondarily probably to the fan base. But I think we're probably at the point where the hurdle of the Dodgers, while it remains, because you understand that they're fully capable probably if you meet them again in a postseason series. But I don't feel as if it will. I don't know if it'll be a mental hurdle or not. I think ultimately it'll be decided on field. Obviously, the way last year ended, you're thinking about it all offseason. It didn't start well this year in the head-to-head series. I mean, the Dodgers were 8-2 against the Padres in the head-to-head series, but things change quick, right? Life comes at you fast, and the Padres have won the last 2 days, and these are the most recent times we've seen these two teams on the field against each other. And again, a chance to secure a home series sweep where all of a sudden you feel pretty confident potentially the next time you face LA, if you do in fact face them again in the postseason here in 2025. So dynamics change specifically in baseball. Storylines can be flipped on their head. And I don't know if that's what's playing out right now or not. You know, I don't think tonight is a night where you say, you know, the division's been determined and the Padres are clearly better than the Dodgers. I mean, this thing has gone back and forth. Seasons are too long to make proclamations like that, especially still with 32 games left. But I do think Padres fans are confident. And more importantly, I think the clubhouse is confident. And I think what has happened here in the days that have followed the trade deadline is that AJ Preller did his part. We talked about this. And if you've been watching the wrap-up show or listening to John and Jim for a while, you know that one of the points we've collectively hit on, and certainly I've made, is that after a deadline, it takes a period of time for a team to figure out who it is, whether that's the coaching staff knowing when to push the right buttons, whether that's a team understanding the dynamic that they now have. And I think it's completely natural for that to take a couple of weeks. And I think maybe it did. And maybe no further evidence of that than last weekend at Dodger Stadium, where they didn't look like themselves and they put themselves in holes. And we were questioning lineup construction. And all of it was fair. All of it was fair. But now you fast forward a week, and it feels like Mike Schilt has a better handle on what this roster is, how the lineup should be put together. It's almost like, I mean, I hate to say this bluntly, but there's almost like a little bit of a benefit in Merrill not being in there, in now, you know, making sure for certain you're going to get Gavin Sheets in your lineup. You're going to get, you know, obviously Laureano's been in there. O'Hearn is in there, but we've seen some of their better offensive production with the lineup they've used the last few days, right? A couple of 8-run games. Obviously, today they're able to score 5 runs. It's a good total. You're going to win. I think the Padres are going to win 80+% of the time scoring 4 runs, and I think they're going to win 90+% of the time scoring 5 runs with this pitching staff. So you don't need 8 runs. They're going to always win by and large when they score 8 runs. But I think they're also by and large going to win a lot when they score 5 runs, like they did tonight. And truthfully, they probably win this game if they only scored those 3 runs in the 4th inning. So I think we're seeing a team gel and come together in front of our eyes. And I also think we're seeing the vision of AJ Preller play out in front of our eyes when he talks about to win at the highest level or to win a World Series, you can't have weak links. And I feel like we're seeing more and more of that as we watch this team day in and day out. And they've played some incredible baseball here. I think, what are they now? Are they 19-7 in their last 26 games? I think that's right, because they were 14-3, lost 4 straight. That would have been 14-7. And now they've won 5 straight. Someone check me on that if I'm wrong, but I think 19-7. I mean, the second half Schilt thing, I mean, it has real legs because it's proven time and time again, including each of the last 2 years in San Diego. So it's been impressive, obviously, to watch play out. Thank you here from Wifty Sen. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the membership. Thank you for the super chat as well. Guys, if you are here, please subscribe. 38 subscribers away from 9,500. And thank you for the super chats. If you want to make sure I see your comment, if you want to support the channel on this Saturday night, click the $ below the chat box. He says, is there an update on King LFGSD? I think the latest update is he will throw a sim game tomorrow. That would be Sunday. And then based on how he feels coming out of the sim game will be what comes next. Is he activated for that series in Minnesota next weekend? Is there a second sim game? Is there a rehab? But I feel like maybe a cautious expectation would be for him to be activated for that series in Minnesota. But that's going to be contingent on how he feels. Again, had his knee drained, was put on the IL, has not been out for a very long period of time. Felt good throwing a bullpen, and now will throw a sim game. And depending on how he feels, is potentially how the next time he appears in the major leagues. But hopefully that's coming sooner rather than later. Again, he's one of those, like, we talk all about not having weak links, and the Padres going 16-7 or whatever it is, 19-7 in their last 26 games, and playing as well as they've played. Remember, Michael King has thrown just 2 innings since he went out May 18th with that, neck arm circumstance, sleeping, on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak. And the Padres have obviously played well, and they put themselves in this position when they're in first place in the NOS. But we shouldn't fool ourselves to think that if you didn't have a fully healthy Michael King, you could still reach all of those goals. I mean, I think it's possible, but I think it's just harder. Like anything, everything is on the margins, and you want to increase your chances, not decrease your chances. And Michael King healthy has been as good of a Padres starter as we've seen over the last 2 years. But the problem is he hasn't been healthy since May of this year. So it's a huge storyline heading into the postseason for the Padres. Will Michael King be not just active, but fully healthy? And will he look like himself? Will he be fully capable of throwing, 90 or 100 pitches when he is hopefully with this club heading into the postseason at the end of September, early October of this year? But I mean, it's a massive point. Sometimes you kind of forget about it. And I apologize, by the way, if I'm having any internet issue right now, because I'm looking at the bars on my screen and they don't look great, but I'm just going to keep on going. And those bars are going to come back at some point, because that's what happens sometimes with my internet. Let's see here. This is from No Dog. Thank you, man. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for the super chat as well. He says, thanks for the extra show, John. Great game, LFGSD. Absolutely, man. Happy to do it. It was a terrific game. Terrific game. Watched it with my wife, watched it with my son, our son, and terrific game. How can you ask for more than this? This is the formula. I talked about this last night. This is how they want to win games. They want to get the starting pitching. They want to have a starter leave with a lead after 5 innings. They want to turn things over to their bullpen. They want to play fundamentally sound on defense. And they want to scratch across runs, right? They don't homer in this game, yet they score 5 runs. They did have a couple of clutch hits. Laureano, ground ball through that scores 2 runs. Later, a sac fly from Jake Cronenworth. I mean, you like that situational hitting. Productive outs work in San Diego. I mean, they work highly because of this pitching staff. So this is who they are. I mean, they're going to bunt guys over. You want to be a good situational hitting team. You want to be better, I would say, with runners in scoring position. And they're doing the things that are necessary to win games. And again, they don't have to outslug you necessarily. I mean, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, as they say, right? Whatever that means. And these two teams don't mirror each other, for example. I mean, the way San Diego's offense has played out this year, and I know they're better since the trade deadline, even the All-Star break, but it's a different style of offense than LA. Obviously, LA has that slug. They've hit, nearly 100 more home runs than the Padres this year. But, look where we are. It's the end of August. And the Padres are 1 game better than LA. So it isn't an end-all be-all. There have been teams, and we've gone through it. There's been teams in the last 25 years. I know the sport has changed, but there's been teams in the last 25 years to win a World Series without being a great slugging team, like an offense that is, good in terms of on-base percentage and batting average, but not a great slug team. I think Kansas City would fit in that description. I think there's at least one of those Giants teams would have fit in that description as well. And I just think that AJ built a team in kind of the vision of his ballpark as well, where, this is never going to be the number 1 hitting ballpark in America, and you can win with pitching. And oftentimes maybe you overpay a little bit for your offense because you're going to need it. And it's a hard place to hit. And they've invested heavily in their offense with the Machados and the Bogarts and the Tatises of the world, Jackson Merrills of the world as well. And again, I think they're built around defense, speed, situational hitting, as we've seen, timely hitting, which we've seen, here and there. And then a lineup that, is as good as they've had since certainly the second half of 2024. So an improved lineup based on the trade deadline that is producing at a higher clip than it was obviously just 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. And I think you put it all together and it's like, I agree with AJ Preller in terms of, they kind of eliminated those weak links. And I feel like they have the pieces necessary to win at a high level. Like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean they're necessarily going to win a World Series, but I think they stack up. And I think that you could make a compelling case for them based on the roster they put together. And now it's about executing in October. And it's also about finishing off this division because that's going to matter a lot. Getting the 3 seed, getting the 2 seed, you just give yourself the better chance to win a World Series or get to a World Series by winning this division. So now that it's right in front of you, hopefully they can capitalize on it. All right, let me get to this from Fonzie. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel here on this Saturday night as well. He says, the thing I was most worried about has come through big this series. Starting pitching, 6 innings from our guys is huge. LFGSD # special Saturday show. Absolutely special Saturday show. I apologize, by the way, if there's any internet issues, but hopefully it's working out. Let me know, someone with like a super, if there's an issue. Honestly, I think we're okay. It might go in and out for whatever. I'm paying $125, I think, a month. I think I pay $125 a month. Is that possible? If I'm paying $125 for internet and this is my internet, like I'm seriously gonna like ream someone out at some point. But I mean, think about the starting pitching. What we said a week ago, they trailed 4-0 in 3 consecutive games. I think they trailed in the first inning in 4 consecutive games. So, I mean, multiple home runs from Nestor Cortes the last time out. Think about that. What a difference a start makes. 3 home runs in a first inning. It was like BP the last time he was on the mound. Yu Darvish, prior to yesterday, allowed 4 runs and 2 homers in the first inning, his last time on the mound. Like, think about that. And for them to rebound in the manner in which they have rebounded has been awfully impressive, obviously. So, yeah, starting pitching's huge. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. I mean, if you don't get effective starting pitching, you've basically it becomes an equalizer for the opponent. Your bullpen is basically diminished, right? The importance of your bullpen is diminished if you're trailing in the game. Like the Padres bullpen can keep them in a game if they're trailing 1-0 or 2-0. Yeah, okay, you can call upon your A team and try to keep it at 1, keep it at 2, but your bullpen isn't going to score for you, and your bullpen, of course, can't take runs off the board. So starting pitching is going to have to be good. I don't think the starting pitching is going to have to be great, truthfully. I think the starting pitching just needs to do enough to turn the thing over to the bullpen, tied or with a 1-run lead, right? You get to a 5th inning, you lead 2-1. You get to a 6th inning, you lead 3-2. You get the point. You get to a 4th inning, you lead 1-0, 2-1. And you feel like you've put yourself in a position where you can shorten games because you got, honestly, 7 high leverage relievers. When you throw David Morgan and the way Wandy Peralta's pitched, he's got like a 1 ERA in his last 20 outings or something like that. That, again, I said it last night, there's a formula here. I think in the postseason, get the 12 to 15 outs from your starter. Get the 12, 15 outs from your bullpen. And just score 1 more. And that 1 more is not a high-scoring affair back and forth. It's last night was what they're trying to do. Get a guy on, get him over, get him in, sit on the lead. Is it always going to work? I don't know. But I respect the concept of it with his bullpen. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. Now, did it get hairy last night in the 9th inning with Robert Suarez? Are you going to win every single time? You're up by 1 with Suarez on the mound and it's 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. Or Ohtani drives the ball to center field. It stays in the yard, but he hits it 390 feet. Again, those are the uncontrollables. But turning a ball over to a closer with a 1-run lead in the postseason is where I'd prefer to be. I'd much rather have Robert Suarez on the mound in the 9th with a 1-run lead than the Padres batting in the 9th, trailing by 1. So that's the goal. Get it to those 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys with a 1-run lead or larger and see if they can hold it. And by and large this year, they've been able to execute on that. Will they be able to do it in the postseason? Nobody has any idea. Will this offense perform better than it did last year against the Dodgers in the final couple of games? Nobody has any idea, but I understand and kind of respect what they're trying to accomplish, obviously, here in 2025. All right, we're going to get back to this in a moment. I want to thank our title sponsor here on the Wrap-Up Show. Can't do it without everyone here live. Can't do it as well without the support of our longtime title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. I was just thinking, I think it was yesterday I mentioned it. We started this channel maybe like 4 years ago today, truthfully. Something like 4 years ago, August, I think, of 2021. We had done 2 years of it on the radio. Started it during the pandemic season. So I think the 6th season of the Wrap-Up Show. And Mark's been with us every step of the way. And if you have an insurance need, please get in contact with Mark by clicking the link in the description down below. I've got 3 insurance policies through Mark: homeowners, life, and earthquake. He does auto. Whatever you need, he's going to be there for you. So before you renew your current policy, get in contact with Mark. I had to file a claim. We had a flood in here somehow in 2022, had all new flooring put in. We were out of our home for 2 weeks. He covered everything. They saved us so much time and so much money. If you ever need him, trust me and my family, he's going to be there for you. So if you support this channel, support a San Diegan diehard Padres fan, click that link in the description down below. Get free quotes online or call Mark. He will talk to you about the Padres, and he will talk to you about saving money on your insurance. All right. Again, John with you here on the wrap-up show. Padres over the Dodgers in Game 2. They've won this series. They win tonight 5-1. They'll try to secure a home sweep of the Dodgers on Sunday when they turn to Nick Pivetta. So Pivetta on the mound again tomorrow for the Padres in just another massive game. Yamamoto, Pivetta at Petco tomorrow afternoon. All right, let's get back to some of the super chats. Again, guys, if you are here, please, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. I think we have moved to within 34 subscribers of 9,500. I'd love to get to 9,500 tonight with you guys. So please take a moment and subscribe, whether you're here live or on replay. And thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. And thank you for the memberships. If you want that Beat LA emoji and more, click the join button down below. Padres Kid Reporter, what's going on, man? Thank you for the membership and thank you for the super chat. He says, if the Padres win tomorrow, what are the chances they win the division? And what are the chances if they lose tomorrow? You know, I love the question because I'm kind of an analytic person and I'm a numbers-oriented person. And I can't give you, obviously, exact odds. But I do like going to Fangraphs because it gives me a good perspective on what's playing out around baseball. And you have to take it with a grain of salt. But, for example, following tonight, this is kind of fascinating to me. And I mentioned it last weekend when the Padres entered that series against the Dodgers with a 1-game lead as well. Or a 2-game lead, excuse me. Right? Was it a 2-game lead or a 1-game lead? It was a 1-game lead. Right now, even with the Padres leading the division by 1 game, they, quote unquote, only have a 42.9% chance of winning the division. The Dodgers 1 game back, according to Fangraphs, have a 57.1% chance of winning the division. So the Dodgers have a 14.2% chance higher than San Diego to win the division. Now, do I fully buy it? No. I feel like the Padres at worst right now with a 1-game lead or a coin flip. And truthfully, you could argue they're a little better than that with the final head-to-head game coming at Petco tomorrow with Nick Pivetta on the mound. But I would say this. If the Padres win tomorrow, I'm not saying Fangraphs fully flips on that, but I bet the division will truly become a toss-up. I think it'll say 50-50, and the Padres will be 2 games up, and I'd rather be in the Padres' shoes. If you've got a 2-game lead with 31 to play, then I don't care if Fangraphs says 50-50. I'd rather be in the Padres' shoes, and I think Dodger fans would agree to that as well. I think if the Dodgers win tomorrow, I understand them being a favorite still to win the division. I still would call it a slight favorite, no better than 6 and 10 chance, for example. Yeah, the 2 teams would be even, and yes, LA would have the tiebreaker, but there'd still be 31 games remaining, and 1 tiebreaker with 31 games remaining, to me, is almost inconsequential. When it matters is the final 2 days of the season, and you're tied, and you need them to lose a game. Does it matter in August? No, because the Dodgers are going to lose another game regardless of what happens tomorrow. So the way I would phrase it to the super chat is I think if the Padres win tomorrow, they should be considered a slight favorite to win the division. And if the Dodgers win tomorrow, they should probably be considered a slight favorite to win the division. But I would say with the grain of salt or the caveat of literally anything could happen and nothing would surprise me in the division with still 31 games to play after tomorrow. Jacob, what's going on, man? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you being here. He says this series win reinforces how important it is to aim for not just the division, but also the 2 seed. I appreciate you mentioning that as well. So let me take a look at NL standings right now in the majors as we do this show. So when we look at the standings right now in the National League, Philadelphia, who loses Zach Wheeler, by the way, for the year, which is a crushing blow, obviously. And I want to say he was dealing with clotting, and now he's going to be out 6 or 8 months. And he was already it'll be interesting to see his recovery timeline, how much longer he's actually pitching. But he's a very good starting pitcher, obviously, and that is a serious blow for a team that's played good baseball. But here's the thing. I mean, the Padres are what? A game and a half behind the Phillies? It's nothing. They're a game and a half behind the Phillies. They're 7 losses behind the Brewers in the loss column, right? They're 7 out in the loss column behind Milwaukee. Again, unlikely. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible, truthfully. Brewers are actually 5-5 in the last 10, so they've come back to earth, but it's unlikely. But is catching the Phillies unlikely? No, it's very possible. I think they have a very good shot of doing it when you consider their schedule. And I think tomorrow goes a way in determining that as well. But I'm with you on the 2 seed, man. If you're going to win the division, just get to the 2 seed. I mean, imagine winning the division, then you're still the 3 seed. I mean, you've played in all these wild card rounds the last 5 years. Like, what's the difference? Yeah, you won the division, but you're still in a wild card round. Yeah, you get a home series, which is great, but they've had home series before as well in the wild card round. So 100% with you on that. Like, if you're going to win the division, get the 2 seed. So that's my expectation right now. I mean, I think for me to feel great about their positioning, it's the 2 seed. How would I feel about winning the division but securing the 3 seed? I would feel like content, but not satisfied. And I think anything other than that, like not winning the division, even the 4 seed, yeah, you're a home team in a wild card series, but that's not satisfying to me based on what they've done to this point. It's just not. I mean, I have to be honest. I don't think you put 50,000 people in the building every single night and, win series against the LA Dodgers this late in the year to take over sole possession of first place and then come up short. Like, this has got to be the year they finish it off. Like, this has got to be the year they finish it off in the regular season. I get it. There have been teams that haven't won divisions that have won World Series, but come on. Like, it's been 20 years, essentially, since the Padres have won a division. You've come this far, not to just come this far. Finish this off. And tomorrow goes a long way in accomplishing that with Nick Pivetta on the mound. All right, let me get to this here from, let's see, NAN PSX. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super. And again, if you guys are here, please subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. Just smash that like button as well for us. And please subscribe to this channel. We have year-round content for you. And thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, not to be rash, we might build momentum to win the division if we sweep. This series is proving the Dodgers can also underperform due to pressure. I think what you might be saying, like, not to be overreactionary, I don't think it's overreactionary because there's only 31 games left in the season after tonight. So, like, how could you not say if the Padres win tomorrow that they're in position to win the division? Like, why would anyone not be saying that? I think Dodger fans would be saying that. Like, would there be a lot of Dodger fans saying we're good? I don't think so. I think they'd be pretty harsh on their own club if they get swept in San Diego. And that hasn't played out yet. We'll see what happens on Sunday. But like going down the hypothetical or the theoretical of the Padres sweeping the series, I think most people that follow this rivalry and most fans of the Padres and the Dodgers would probably give the Padres that they make the Padres the favorite, would they not? I think Dodger fans would say, well, we just got swept in San Diego. We haven't played well since basically the 1st of July. Are we really going to turn it on when we have to turn it on? So I think even Dodger fans would be skeptical. In fact, I talked to a lot today in Anaheim in this card show. I think there's a lot of skepticism on the Dodgers. Doesn't mean it's not possible. I just think that even from their own fan base, there's a lot of skepticism on the Dodgers. Can they just, quote unquote, turn it on? I heard Ken Rosenthal say that today. I'm skeptical, not impossible, but I don't think it's as easy as some make it out to be. And then, of course, Padres fans are going to feel confident, I think, coming out of the series, should the Padres sweep. How could you not be? You'd have a 2-game lead with 31 to play with a soft schedule, arguably the softest schedule in Major League Baseball. So I don't think it's overreactionary at all should the Padres win tomorrow. But, of course, the key caveat is winning tomorrow. I mean, it's such a big swing game, just like last Sunday was. Dodgers won it. They went 2 up, right? If the Padres win it, they go 2 up. So it's a massive game. It's a massive game. I think it's a fair thing to say. I know it's only August, but I do think it's a very significant game. Wise Modern Dad, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the membership. Thank you for the super chat. He says, as a father of 2/husband, appreciate the extra show, John. I know it's not easy. Bullpen status looks good going into game 3. Let's get greedy. Absolutely agree with you. First of all, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that because we all get it. I think if anyone that's in a relationship or anyone that has kids or anyone that's married, again, but I mean, this is what we do, and the Padres are in first place, and there's 1,000 people that are going to want to talk about it here tonight live and on replay, and we'll get, thousands more on replay over the next, 20 hours as well. And, there's only so many nights in a season, and there's only so many seasons like 2025 in the history of the Padres, and there's only so many teams that have been in first place this late in the year for San Diego. I mean, you're counting divisions on one hands, right? You're not counting divisions on, It's not every single year that the Padres are in this type of position, and we don't know what the future holds. So we should enjoy it while it's playing out in front of our eyes. The bullpen, I mean, the fact that you can win this game without Mason Miller or Robert Suarez, who had appeared in each of the last two games, is just the feather in the cap you're looking for. And the fact that that's what I like about having the five guys, five horsemen, 6-7 leverage guys, is that, well, everyone thought at the deadline, they've got these five guys, they're just going to unleash them. Fifth inning, Adam. Sixth inning, Estrada. Seventh inning, whatever the order is, right? But that's not actually what's played out. I don't know how many games all five have appeared in 9 innings or less. I think there was a game they appeared when the game went 10 innings. And I think there was one other game that went 9 innings within about a week or so of the trade deadline when they kind of unfurled all five of them. But by and large, I don't think that's what they want to do until the postseason. I think they'll be fully willing to do it in the postseason. But I think they want to be healthy, rested, and put themselves in a position to make them most effective come October 1st. And how do you do that? You pitch Morejon and Estrada one day, and then you pitch Miller and Suarez the other. You pitch Adam one day, and you pitch, David Morgan that day as well, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, there's going to be nights that you lose or you use 4 of them. Shoot, there might be a night you have to use all 5 of them in the regular season. But come the postseason, all bets are off. Those guys can go more than 3 outs by and large. They can pitch back-to-back games, and you can shorten games up. And your starters might go 4, and you feel confident and comfortable with 5 innings from your bullpen, if not more than that. That's how I see it. So, and I'm with you on game 3. Get greedy. Absolutely. This is not the time to be content with winning a series against LA. When you have a team on its heels, you have to take advantage. And I do think they have a team on its heels right now. And Petco has turned out to be this unbelievable home field advantage. I mean, it really has. I mean, you look at how good the Padres are at home, and it's like uncanny. 43-21. They're winning nearly 70% of the time at home. They're over a 667 winning percentage. The difference between home and road for San Diego is distinct. 43-21 to 31-35. It's a massive, massive difference. You want home fields. You want home games. You want decisive games at home. Nobody has any clue what would have happened if the decisive 5th game last year was in San Diego. Now, they would have had to score, but nobody has any clue how it would have played out. Let's see here. Nick, appreciate you, man. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you are here, please subscribe. I think we're about 30 subscribers away from 9,500. So please take a moment and subscribe. Year-round content for Padres and baseball fans. And thank you for the super chats. Really do appreciate your support of the channel on this Saturday night. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks as well. Just click that $sign below the chat box. He says, you doing this show means a lot to a lot of Padres fans. Thank you, John and family. I appreciate you saying on the flagship post game, he says, doesn't hold a candle, Padres forever. Listen, I've done a lot of pre-half post type work throughout my career. And it's different. It's just, it's a different format. And that's why I think the wrap-up show has been successful, because it's not something that you get as often as maybe I think you'd want to get. I mean, it's just immediate reaction, and we try to do it from an unbiased position. We try to tell it like it is, because I've always said Padres fans deserve it. I think Padres fans are some of the best in the sport. We're watching it each and every night. Everyone's watching the games. Everyone's at Petco Park. Everyone's dialed in. It's become a brilliant baseball city. I've said it from the second the Chargers left. It's become a brilliant baseball city. It's one of the only markets in the country where through August and September and October, baseball leads, because San Diego has become an atypical market in that regard, right? And because of it, baseball has, to some extent, flourished. Obviously, credit ownership, credit Padres fans, credit AJ Preller, credit the players and these coaching staffs, and the winning pedigree that's been established here, and the marketability of these stars, the Machados, the Tatises. You get the point. But it's an amazing baseball city, and I just have always thought, and Jim feels the same way, you got to treat it like that. You got to provide the commentary that you would get in other great baseball cities, and that's what we've done. And I really think San Diego is like cream rising to the top. I think San Diego, and I think it's under the radar nationally, but I think if you really are aware, like we all are, I think San Diego has become one of the true great baseball markets in the country. It's an amazing thing to say. There are some great baseball cities, It's not to take away from other. And listen, there's a lot of these fan bases that have great fans. Let's be honest. But San Diego has just been rising and rising and rising. And I know Padres fans clamor for it. Me and Jim do. So that's why we've tried to provide it. And it's worked out. We're thankful for it. And I appreciate you saying it, Nick. Really do. Thank you for hanging out. No Dog, appreciate you as well. He says, surprised Roberts hasn't tried any BS. Don't let up. I don't think it's the time of year for it, truthfully. In terms of it's not the postseason. Your season isn't on the line. Your back isn't truly against the wall, though I understand it. I would say from a Dodger perspective, it's just about winning a game. That's more important than any of the antics, truthfully. Now, what do you need to do to motivate your team? I don't know. And whatever he did last year somehow worked, obviously, the postseason. But, can you keep playing the same card? Can you play the card that you played in October and August? I don't know if you can. And I don't think they get saved by an antic, truthfully. I think they get saved by good pitching and good play. And they've combined for 5 hits in the first 2 games. Can that change? Of course it can on Sunday. But, I think it's more about performance. And I think this is the time of year where performance matters more than anything else. The antics worked last year. That sideshow worked last year. So they did get the last laugh. There's no question about that. But to your point, don't let up. I don't think we see anything tomorrow other than 2 teams understanding they need to win the game, because they do. That's what the amazing thing about it. I don't think it's more important for LA than it is for San Diego. And I don't think it's more important for San Diego than it is for LA. So it's just a big game. It's a big head-to-head game in a division where these 2 teams have had a lot of big games over the last handful of years. And that's what tomorrow is for me. Live Stronger. Appreciate you. Very generous, man. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you for doing that. He says, thanks for the time, John. Happy to do it, man. Happy to do it. Seriously, happy to do it, guys. And there's a lot to react to. If there's something you want me to react to, just click the $ below the chat box. We'll get into the game and the specifics in a moment, but thank you, Live Stronger, for that. Do want to remind our viewers, by the way, this is actually showing us up the Lucky Box locations. We've been telling you about Lucky Box. Our friends over at Lucky Box, I walked away with and by the way, Toddy's been really big here over the last 7 to 10 days. I know we've been talking about the homers, but Toddy's been really big. So I get to this Lucky Box vending machine the other day, right, in Vegas in July. Let me pull this down so people can see it. Super cool. It's upside down, isn't it? These are these vending machines with these mystery boxes. Okay, you walk up and you can decide if you want an autograph card, if you want it's just a sports card, or if you want an autographed jersey, or if you want a Pokemon card. And then it spits out whatever. You have no clue what you're going to get. You get a Patrick Mahomes signed jersey or a Fernando Tatis Jr. signed card. You get anything across all sports. And much to my surprise, out pops this Toddy Auto Bowman 10 from a Lucky Box vending machine in Las Vegas. That was in July. Super cool. My reaction, you can find it on Instagram, was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what are the odds? A guy that does sports talk radio in San Diego and talks about the Padres each and every day gets a Auto 10 from Fernando Tatis Jr. out of a Lucky Box vending machine. But you got to check these out. They're throughout the country now. There's about 10 or 15 in Las Vegas, and they're coming to Southern California. And if you use our promo code Padres, all lowercase, you're going to get $5 off. So I think you're going to love them. And if you're a sports fan, they're terrific. I think your kids are going to absolutely love them. The next time I'm in front of one of these with my 6-year-old, we're going to do it, and he's going to freak out. So it's really cool, and I suggest you check them out. Click the link in the description down below. You can see where they're located because they're in different airports. Maybe you're flying to Chicago. They're in O'Hare, or New York. It's in JFK, or they're going to be in Southern California. They might already be in LA. They're certainly going to be in Los Angeles and San Diego, and they're all over Vegas. And I know tons of San Diegans and tons of people in Southern California are in Vegas week in and week out. So the next time you're in Vegas, you're going to find one. You're going to come across one, and make sure to use the promo code, again, Padres. Use that promo code Padres and find a Lucky Box near you by clicking the link in the description down below. All right, let's reset for a moment. Let's talk a little bit about this game. Let's get to these super chats. Again, click the $ below the chat box. And thank you for those that have become members and those that have subscribed. We are 31 subscribers away from 9,500. 31 away from 9,500. Crazy. We're going to get to 10,000 with your help this year, which is incredible. And we appreciate you doing that. So let's get back to some of these super chats, and let's talk about tonight's game as well. This one here from Fonzie. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the membership and the super. He says, Glasnow's curveball, yuck. Couple good at bats got to him. Okay, let's talk about that. for a moment. Let me just pull up this box real quick from tonight. The thing that I like right now about the Padres lineup is that it's almost like a Schilteism, but it's like the approach and the at-bats are adding up, and it's really paying dividends. And what I mean by that is you're seeing leadoff base runners with leadoff walks, and you're seeing the longer plate appearances, and you're seeing guys see 7, 8, 9 pitches. You've seen it routinely with someone like Jake Cronenworth. Yeah, I specifically remember that being a talking point, I think yesterday or the day before. But, you look at the patience shown. The Padres drawing 6 walks in this game. They're just putting pressure on the opponent. They've got this deeper lineup, obviously, that we've talked about, where Ramon Laureano is batting 7th, and he comes through with the biggest hit of the game in the 4th inning, that 2-run single with the bases loaded off Glasnow. So they're capable of beating you with the bottom of their lineup. That's not something we said in the first half of the year. They're capable at the top of the lineup because even with Tatis not coming through with the power, he's constantly on base. I think he's got like a 420 plus on base percentage over his last 47 games. It's something like that. Obviously, we know about Machado, how consistent he's been. He scored a couple of runs in this game. He walked a couple of times. The O'Hearn Laureano additions have been massive. Fermin has been valuable. I know he was hitless here today, and they're just getting production and contributions, and they're making pitchers work, and they're seeing more pitches, and then they're getting to the middle of teams' bullpens, right? Because they're knocking starters out earlier, which is then giving them more opportunities against, those mid-tier relievers that they're seeing. And it's played out very well. I don't know what the runs per game are since the All-Star break or even the trade deadline, but I know it's up. I know if you look at it before the All-Star break to after the All-Star break, I know the runs per game are up. And I know if you look at it from pre-trade deadline to post-trade deadline, I know runs per game are up as well. So it's paying off. They had 3 hits in this game. So, but again, they put pressure on with the walks, right? So that was a big part of that 4th inning. That was a big part of that 8th inning. A lot of base runners, they're stealing bases. They're being aggressive. They're creating opportunities. And, this is one of those games where, they had a handful of opportunities with men in scoring position. They had a couple of big hits, obviously with Laureano and Xander Bogaerts. Wise Modern Dad, thank you, man. Again, he says, me and my son are also really getting into Padres cards this year. Hope this super can go to your son's collection. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We have he picked up a celebration box, 2025 top celebration box, which is cool because it has mascots and more colorful cards and more kid-friendly looking cards. And someone gave him some random rookie card from some Orioles rookie a month or 2 ago, and he traded that card in for the celebration box. So he was doing some trading today. It's really cool. I mean, my son's only 6. I think most kids probably don't get into it until they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, truthfully. So I'm not really pushing it, but he's been into it. So it's been super fun, and there've been people dropping stuff off to the studio for him, and it's been cool because he's really into he's got Jackson Merrill's cards. He's got Fernando Tatis Jr.'s cards. So he's really into Padres cards, which is really cool. And I actually had to tell him this. He initially was ripping up Dodger cards. I was like, I don't know if we need to rip them all up. I mean, you could sell them, or give them to your friends that want them because you don't want them. It's kind of funny. So that's what he thinks of the Dodgers, that he's 6 years old. He's already ripping up their cards. But thank you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate that super chat. Appreciate you thinking about me and my son with the card collection. Jeff West, what's going on, man? Appreciate you hanging out. Thank you for supporting the channel as always. He says if Nestor finishes strong, he get playoff spot. Playoff rosters are so wonky. It's dependent on the length of a series, right? If you have a 3-game series, you only need so many starters. If you have a 5-game series, honestly, you only need 3 starters this year because the NLDS this year has 3 off days. I think there's an off day after game 1. There's an off day after game 2. And if the series goes 5, there's an off day after game 4, which means you can have pitchers, your first and second pitchers in the NLDS pitch games 1 and 5 on normal rest and 1 and 4 on normal rest and 2 and 5 on normal rest. You still might need 4 starters. It depends on if you're playing a wild card series or not. But there's a scenario where you would probably need 4 starters in that series, but you might only need 3. The point is, it depends on the length of the series that you're in. Depends on what role you're looking for him to potentially fill. I mean, is he your long guy if you're up or down big? Maybe, because he's built up. But is he going to possess that before your 4th starter if King Darvish, right? Like all the other guys are healthy. I don't know. I really don't. He's pitched well. He's helping get them to their goal, but I don't know what role he would play for them in the postseason because I just don't know. I mean, it's very possible he does, and I think it's very possible he doesn't play a role. But jury out on that based on tonight. He certainly would provide value. 6 innings, 1 hit. Are you kidding? I mean, 16 up, 16 down. I mean, he's perfect in the 6th inning against the Dodgers. It's ridiculous. After allowing 3 home runs the other day, like credit to Cortes, Niebla, game planning for me. Like that's not easy to accomplish. Like, let's not pretend like this is just a couple of wins. It looks solid the last couple of days. Yeah, they just won a couple of games, 2-1, 5-1. That's not easy to do against LA. I know the Dodgers have struggled here over the last 2 months, but it's not easy to hold that team to 5 combined hits over 2 days. Not easy at all. And the way Darvish and Cortes had been pitching, that was far from a guarantee. So credit to those pitchers specifically, but really the entire battery. And then I think the game planning. I think the game planning has been outstanding, truthfully. What's going on, man? Appreciate you. I never know how to say this, by the way. Tell me the pronunciation on this. Canis lupus? Thank you. Appreciate you, man. He says, just appreciate you being here on a Saturday night. Every game matters. 5 weeks to go. Fancy 69. That's crazy, dude. I want the division. So you've seen it all. You have seen it all. Every game does matter. I completely agree. When they play the Rockies, it matters. When they play the White Sox, it's going to matter. They're all going to matter. They're all factors in determining who wins this division. Every single one of them. Because the difference is going to be 1, 2, 3 games between these teams in all likelihood. So they all matter. Every single one. From March through September, they all matter. And appreciate you saying that. But Fantasy 69, I mean, I go back to what we've said a lot over recent years. It's like they've tried a lot to put themselves in position to win at the highest level, and I credit AJ Preller for doing that. I credit ownership. It hasn't always worked. They've had good teams in here. 2022 comes to mind. Couldn't get over the Phillies hump after getting over the Dodgers hump. And then, 2024, I thought they had a very good chance of getting to a World Series, to be honest with you, or winning it. I really did. When they were up 2-1, it felt like stars were aligning, didn't it? And then they didn't, and it was crushing. But they've got a very good team in 2025. And the point I'm making here with someone that's been a fan for a long, long time is that the more opportunities you give yourself, the more possibility that you eventually break through. That's just how life works, right? Apply to 20 jobs, you have a better chance to get a job than applying to 1. Call 10 people, you got a better chance of making a sale than emailing 1. Get yourself into the postseason, you're giving yourself opportunities. It's like, right, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, they're getting in. Can they now fully get over the hump? I don't know. I mean, it's too early to really know. I think they have the makings of a very good team. I think the National League feels open to me. I don't know if it's quote unquote wide open, but I feel as if it is open. And I feel like there are opportunities to break through in the National League. And we'll see if they, are able to do that or not. But is it a possibility? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I would say here. Again, with August nearing an end here over the next handful of days. All right, let me just reset for a moment. Again, 5-1 Padres over the Dodgers. John with you on the wrap-up show. We are with you tomorrow night as well. We will have a wrap-up show at 9:30. Obviously, it's an afternoon game, but we'll have that traditional 9:30 wrap-up show for you on Sunday night. We'll see if the Padres can sweep the Dodgers or not. We are 29 subscribers from 9,500, so if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I would appreciate that. And thank you for the super chats as well. Just click that $ below the chat box. Before I get to some of these supers rolling in, I do want to remind you about our friends over at SeatGeek because they have a terrific offer going on for you right now. If you use our promo code by clicking the link in the description down below, the promo code is PODSWRAP. You're going to get $20 off your first order of $50 or more with our friends over at SeatGeek. You heard me right. $20 off your first order of $50 or more with our promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. Just click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. And we do want to thank our friends over at SeatGeek. And it's not just Padres, by the way. Whether you want to go to Petco Park, that's terrific. You can take the $20 off with the promo code. But maybe it's an upcoming concert. Maybe it's a San Diego State football or basketball game. Maybe you're not even in San Diego. You can still go to SeatGeek. You can grab tickets to an event in Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philadelphia, New York, so on and so forth. So it's a terrific offer. It's a terrific platform. You got the promo code. Take advantage of it. Click the link in the description down below. And again, use our promo code. That's PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. And again, get to Petco Park maybe Sunday afternoon or at some point in September or October, maybe an upcoming concert or event in Southern California, something related to San Diego State or SDFC. Use the promo code, and thank you, SeatGeek, for your support of the channel. All right, let me get back to some of these super chats. As the Padres again hands the Dodgers down at Petco in front of another, just what a crowd. How about this? The first two games of this series, 2 hours and 16 minutes, followed by 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's like, truthfully, if I was doing like a two-man wrap-up show tonight, this is actually like reminds me of games, like all the NLDS games. It's like game 5 of the NLDS when the Padres lost tragically that series. I think we did a longer wrap-up show than that game actually was played. Like whatever the length of that game was, I think the wrap-up show we did that night was longer than the actual game. So these games have been crisp. They've been clean. They've been short. The atmospheres have been incredible. The crowds have been lively. It's everything you'd want. That playoff-like atmosphere that we've talked about that was almost a guarantee in San Diego has completely played out. So people, I mean, we all understand the magnitude. We all understand what's on the line. And it's great to see the Padres taking advantage of it in front of their home fans here over the last couple of days. Let's see here. Thank you, Sucka Free 619. Appreciate you, man. He says, normally I don't really care about winning the division, but I think the fan base needs this. Completely understand it. It's like the previous super coming from a fan since 69. And you got people that have been watching games for a long, long time. In fact, I would say we're probably at the point. Let's see. So 98 is 27 years ago, right? So you'd have to be, let's say 34 or older to fully appreciate 98. Would you agree? Because if you're 33 or younger, you have memories of it, but they're faint. And most of those memories are through friends and family and retelling. But you vividly remember being there and living and dying on it when you were 6 years old or younger. Like, right? Like I remember fandom coming to me when I was like 6. I know a lot of people would tell you it's more like 7 or 8, if not 9. So think about that. If you're 34 or younger, your memories of 98 are faint. That's a lot of people. I get it. There's a lot of people that are 34 and older. But with each passing year, the 34-year-old becomes the 35-year-old. They haven't seen the team in the World Series. Becomes a 36-year-old. Becomes a 40-year-old. It's like at some point, we need to create new memories. And I think this iteration version of the Padres is doing that, but they need to break through. Is the point. And to your point about needing the division, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, this division has been utterly dominated by LA. Like very few divisions across sports in U.S. history. Every year, same thing. They've had years they've won by 10, 15, 20 games, right? They've been playing for nothing. I mean, they've been playing out strings before, right? They've won 100, they've fallen out of bed, so to speak, with 100+ wins. But that hasn't played out these last 2 years. Yes, they won the World Series last year, but they were pushed in the regular season, obviously. I think they won 98 games. This year, they're not winning 98 games. It would take like a near perfect finish, right, for LA to get to 98 wins. So it's, again, the door is open. The Padres have put themselves in a position where they can win this division. I think the fan base clamors for it, and I think they clamor for more. I don't think this is solely about winning a division. I really don't. I think winning a division is nice, but I think there's more on the line. I think most Padres fans understand that winning the division is only part of what they're clamoring for. And ultimately, you'd still have that sour taste in your mouth if they won this division, but then didn't make any noise in the postseason. But I'm with you. I think that as dedicated as we are, as much as you've put in, whether it's day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out, it's time, right? It's past time. It's past time. So we'll see if they can, again, capitalize. Let's see here. EFP, I think it's Sad Fryer, but what's up, man? Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for hanging out. He says, John, thank you for the extra show. I also want to thank Mrs. Sad Fryer for watching the Padres and the wrap-up show with me on a nightly basis. Super cool. Appreciate you doing it. What happened to, is this maybe Mrs. Sad Fryer's account? Because I think typically your account says Sad Fryer. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I think some people probably, you guys all have your habits. Maybe some of you watch typically, on replay in the mornings, or some of you watch live, or some of you watch with family or friends. Some watch on your laptop, some watch on your phone, some watch on your TV, right? You probably have your habits in terms of how you consume it. And no matter how you do it, maybe some of you are listening to the podcast, by the way. Click the link in the description down below. We have the audio only version of the show each and every night as well for you. So appreciate that, man. And appreciate your wife for supporting as well. Rocket, what's up, man? This interesting. So you called John and Jim on Friday, and you did predict this. Thank you for the super. Says Dodgers fan. Okay, no, you're saying Dodgers fan that called in on Friday was right. Yeah, the Dodger fan, and I've seen a couple of people actually in our comments, believe it or not, or in my comments, like at John Schaefer on X, that were like, I fully expect the Padres to win this series, like to take 2 out of 3. I haven't seen as much of people saying like I fully expect, at least heading into the series. I didn't see a lot of people saying I fully expect the Dodgers to get swept that were Dodger fans, but I did see people saying I fully expect the Dodgers to lose this series, which I thought was a kind of defeatist way to look at it for a team that kind of boasts out their chest and their fan base, right? I mean, they're coming off a World Series. But I think this speaks to my point from earlier today when I was in Anaheim and I'm like mingling with people and I'm wearing like Padres stuff and there's Dodger fans there like buying and selling cards and they're kind of like, they're like, oh, tough one last night, or yeah, we're not playing well, or something's off, right? Like all these things that sometimes me and Jim say, and then people push back sometimes in the chat, but then I'm like literally face to face with these fans, and they're telling me what I'm saying. So I think that again, I don't think the division's been determined, and I don't think LA should be written off, but I do think that based on their play, they've put the Padres in this position to some extent that the Padres can capitalize on. I mean, listen, if the Dodgers had played as well in the second half as they did in the first, they might not have opened the door for the Padres. They had a 9-game division lead at one point. So this is only possible to some extent because the Dodgers came back to earth and the Padres took advantage of it. But I think there was a belief that the Dodgers may, quote unquote, get healthy and may turn it on. But there's also a belief, I think there's a skepticism as well, even from within the fan base, that it's just not as easy. It's more work for whatever reason. And that the Padres are like a formidable, adversary or whatever the word would be. Like the Padres have the team that can put the Dodgers on their heels. And we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. I've made that point a million times. I'm not telling you tonight the Padres have won the division. I'm not telling you tonight the Dodgers have lost the division. I'm just telling you that tomorrow's an important game. And I think that the Padres have that coin flip chance, if not greater, truthfully, depending on what happens tomorrow, to be a division winner in 2025. And I know Lucy's pulled the football away a million times. I've used the analogy, I don't even know how many times over the last 8 years or whatever it is. But at one point, it's going to be different, right? Isn't that just how life works? Isn't that how sports work? That's just how it works. I mean, so hopefully that's this year. And if it's not this year, then it's going to be hopefully some future year. But I think that, again, what better time than now is what I would say. And like I just saw someone, I just clicked over and someone said, not rivals though, John. I mean, listen, people are fully aware. It's amazing. I mean, even, I was really impressed. To tell you this, being at this card show today, this massive card show, one of the biggest card shows in the country. And I figured it was going to be all LA. I thought I'd see like a million like Laker jerseys and Dodger jerseys. There was a ton of San Diego, a ton of Padres gear. I mean, a ton. I mean, I don't know if it was equal to the Dodgers, but I was impressed by how much I saw. And it may have actually been equal to the Dodgers. It was that significant. So, I mean, I saw tons of Dodger stuff, but I saw tons of Padres stuff. So, and again, I think people are fully aware of the dynamic. I must have talked to a dozen plus people about Padres Dodgers based on last night. I mean, that's insane. That's insane. So everyone's aware. Everyone's fully aware. I do want to remind you guys about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy, but I need to pull it up real quick. So let me do that real quick. And let me get this on screen. The best and easiest place to play fantasy sports is with our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. They have a terrific offer going on for you right now. If you use our promo code PODRAP by clicking the link in the description down below, you're going to get $50 in bonus play by playing just $5. Play $5, get $50 in bonus credits. Get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 and a free gimme pick. What's a free gimme pick? It's like higher or lower than a half total point for page backers. Okay, so they'll just give you a pick. And here's the thing. You can play across all sports. So, for example, we can play WNBA, and then we can find Dodgers Padres. Now, they don't have Sunday's game up as of yet, but we can play, let's see. We can play MLB. We can play Paul Skeens higher than 7.5 strikeouts. We can play Mickey Moniak, the San Diegan higher than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. We can play whatever we want, right? Across all games. Junior Caminero, whatever we want. Higher or lower. The more you play, the more you can win. $10 wager. If that plays out, you win $190. But the more you pick, the more you can win. You can flex it, which means you don't even have to get them all right, and you can still win big, even if you don't get them all right. So use our promo code, again, PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Click that link in the description down below. Get the play $5, get $50 in bonus funds, plus the 50% deposit match up to $1,000, plus the free gimme pick. Click that link in the description down below and use our promo code, again, PODSWRAP. What else, guys? As I hear all this honking in the distance faintly, you might hear that on our microphone or my microphone. What have I missed on? Have we missed on anything here tonight? Probably. There's probably a lot, truthfully. I haven't read any post-game recaps. I didn't watch Mike Schilt post-game. She set up the microphone and said, you know what? No Jim. I'm just going to react. I'm just going to hear from you guys. Talk to Padres fans, react, give you my thoughts. I think that, again, they needed to show us something this weekend, and they have. Regardless of what happens Sunday, they have showed us something. They're showing us a lot if they win Sunday. And I know they have a bulldog in Nick Pivetta on the mound. He really is. He gives you a chance, and I fully expect him to give them a chance again on Sunday. I really do. I fully expect him to put them in a position to win on Sunday. Rocket says gutsy to leave Estrada in there versus Teoscar. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think when you're working with and I'd have to go back and fully remember how it all played out. But I think when you're working with the strength of the bullpen that they have, and when you're pitching with multiple run leads like that, and you don't have tying runs at the plate, I think it makes probably more sense. And then you have the luxury again of having Morejon go more than one inning, by the way, as well in this game. After that, the Freeland home run, you call on Morejon, he makes quick work to end the 8th inning, and then a hitless, scoreless 9th inning. I mean, I think we had Trevor Hoffman on John and Jim. He's like, their bullpen's an embarrassment of riches. That's Trevor Hoffman saying it. So, I'm confident by and large, especially with multiple run leads. I say by and large, am I overly confident with Suarez on the mound against the Dodgers in a one-run game? I'll be honest, no. And I said that yesterday. Now, to his credit, he got the save, and the Padres won the game. But you give Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon 3 runs to work with and ask them to pitch 3 combined innings, you're going to win a lot of games. And that, once again, played out here today. And I don't know if they're going to win every game. I think there's a belief among Padres fans that we don't know if it's going to be accurate or not. It's like you get a lead and you hand it over to your bullpen, you're going to win. I don't know if it's as simple as that. I don't think you're going to hold every 1-run lead every single night in the postseason for 4+ innings. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they hold every 1-run lead. And they can just sit on it and win games, 2-1, 3-2, 1-0, whatever it's going to take. I don't know if they'll be able to do that or not. I do know they have, arguably, one of the strongest bullpens in the history of the sport, truthfully, when healthy. And that goes a long way. We'll see how far of a way it can go when you have a bullpen like that. I loved their bullpen last year. I thought they had a terrific bullpen. I do agree this bullpen is better than last year's bullpen. But again, you got to score to win, as we know, and they have. That's why I'm optimistic, and that's why I was optimistic in 2024. I loved their offense in 2024. I thought it was dynamic. I thought they had more slug. I thought it was a top 10 offense. This hasn't been a top 10 offense this year. It's been an improving offense. I'll tell you that. I bet in August, can someone do a dive on that? I don't know if there's team splits for August. I would imagine the Padres in August have a top 12 offense. Do they have to? I wouldn't be surprised if they have a top 10 offense in the sport. They have to have a top 12 offense in August, do they not? Let's see here. Thank you, man. It's a little chilly. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the membership. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I've done tons of traveling recently, seen at least one San Diego fan in every city I've been to, even Montreal. It's awesome to see LFGSD. That's awesome. Well, Padres fans have been traveling everywhere for years now. It's crazy. You turn on a game, they're playing the Phillies. There's all these Padres fans. You turn on a game in Miami. Everyone, I mean, it's crazy. You're watching a game against the Marlins. There's 12,000 people in the building, and 8,000 of them are wearing Padres gear. So it's cool to see how that's kind of played out. And again, you got a franchise that's been winning at a high clip, not the highest, but a franchise that's invested and winning in a market that's clamoring for the winner. That's this strong baseball market that we've talked about, and it's cliche, but it's kind of a perfect storm. It's kind of a perfect storm, is what it is. So, and I do agree with the general point that hopefully the leads are larger, and that's why I speak on the offense, where I feel like you got this again, over the last 3 weeks, which isn't the largest sample size in the world, but over this 3-week sample size, you put together this top 10-ish offense, and now you can add on. They added on today. They've added on a lot if you look at it recently. Not every game, but they've added on a lot. And you add on, and all of a sudden your cushion goes from 1 run to 3 runs, and your chances of winning go from 85% to 98% in those scenarios, or maybe it goes from 90% to 99% in those scenarios. It's not 90% with a 1-run lead, but you get my point. You go from 80% to 98.5% and then 99.5% when you have a 4-run lead or whatever it is. So, and I'll take those chances. I mean, I'll take chances to win a game 99 out of 100 times. You're going to have to take those chances. You're never going to be 100 for 100. It's never going to be 1,000 for 1,000. Things happen. It's sports. Things can happen. But if you got a 98 and 100 shot of something happening, or a 99 in 100 shot of things happening, you feel good. It's like playing poker. Sometimes there's a card that's going to beat you, but you'll take your chances if there's only 1 or 2 of them in a deck of 52, won't you? And that's how I feel about the Padres bullpen. Again, with a 1-run lead, I don't feel exactly that way. I think some people do, but I think you start stretching those leads out, 2 runs, 3 runs, and there's much fewer outs in that deck for your opponents in that scenario. Here's good perspective. Thank you. So Padres offense 12th in Major League Baseball last month, Dodgers 16th. Are you saying over the last month, or last month being July? I would imagine that's over the last month. And that's reasonable to me. I've read some about the Dodgers offensive struggles where they were like in the bottom third, maybe in July. And I think they've been better in August, but not fully better in August. But yeah, that's the offense that I've been watching from the Padres. It feels to me like a top third offense, right? Like that 10 to 12 range. And I'm being told here it's something like the 12th best over the last month or so for the Padres. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up. I don't know why there's like obsessive honking outside, but maybe it's because the Padres beat the Dodgers tonight. Or maybe it's just because someone's honking for whatever reason. Let's see where we are with the subscribers before we get out of here. 27 from 9,500. So if nothing else, we'll get there tomorrow night on the wrap-up show. We're 27 away. If you haven't taken a moment to subscribe, would appreciate it. If you did, just subscribe. Smash the like button for us. You can follow me on X at John Schaefer. Shoot, you can follow Jim on X at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks. If you have been here on replay tonight, thank you for the super chats. Really appreciate you guys. Great show. One-man band on a Saturday night. It's kind of like just like spur of the moment. We typically don't do it on Saturday. So I know a lot of people are going to wake up to see this on YouTube and be like, oh, I'm surprised. I didn't know there was a show. I would have been here if I would have known there was a show. They'll be here later tonight because they're still downtown, at bars or restaurants after the game. So I'm sure a lot of people will be watching on replay, and then we'll do it again tomorrow night, again at 9:30 right here on the wrap-up show. I mentioned it earlier. If you want to subscribe to our audio-only podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description down below. And please support our partners. Seriously, we can't do this without your support. Everyone here live and on replay, we can't do it without our partners. So please support them, whether it's Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor, or our friends at Lucky Box we've told you about, Hamul Casino, who we partner with, SeatGeek or Underdog Fantasy. Please support our partners here on the wrap-up show. Appreciate you all. Appreciate special Saturday night, but it's been a special kind of second half here for the Padres. Once again, second half show. Padres are in first place in the NL West by a game. Can they stretch it out tomorrow or not? We will talk about it tomorrow night at 9:30 here on the wrap-up show. Really do appreciate you guys. Enjoy the evening. Be well. Let's do it again Sunday. Be loud if you're going Sunday afternoon. Then let's do it again tomorrow night on the wrap-up show. For Jim, I guess, I'm John. Padres win at 5-1. This has been the wrap-up show. Thanks, guys.